We are right live on Pasito Radio now. We are live on Facebook. We are live on um, Modern Ghana. We are live on all the tunings. So, welcome, Dr. Ismail, to Pasito Radio Health Talks Time.
Thank you. Thank you, Agnes.
Today, we have realized that there's a lot of things that we are ignorant of. So, we decide today to talk about dementia. But we want somebody who is expert in dementia to tell us. Then, yesterday, I came across a YouTube where a woman in Ghana has really been beaten because they think she's a witch and they killed her. But I believe these things are ignorance because when there are certain things that they think the person is, as we finish, people will know why those things happens, that they are not witch, but it's a type of sickness. Then we want somebody who will have the knowledge to tell us. So today, welcome to Pasito Radio Health Talk Time, and today we're going to talk about dementia. I want you yourself to introduce yourself as well. Then you tell us what at all is dementia.
Thank you, Agnes. First of all, it's a great pleasure to be given the platform to talk about dementia, a very important health condition. So just to introduce myself, so my name is Sanda Umar Ismail. I am a Ghanaian. I am a senior lecturer in public health at the University of the West of England in Bristol, so which is at the southwest part of the UK. Just to give a very brief background about my educational history. So I was born in Ghana. I was bred in Ghana. I grew up in Ghana. So I had my primary, secondary, tertiary education in Ghana. So my secondary education was in Achimota School. My tertiary education was in University for Development Studies, where I studied community nutrition, which is basically public health nutrition. I then moved to the UK to do my master's in public health, and then did my PhD in dementia research. And I've been working in this field for the past 8 years or so.
Wow.
In terms of research, my special area is on health and well-being of older people, and that includes people with dementia. As part of my role, I do teach as well. So I lead modules on the Masters of Public Health program at the University of West of England in the areas of epidemiology of non-communicable diseases. So basically looking at the distribution of non-communicable diseases and how to prevent them among the population. So this is a brief background about myself. I've been working in this field of dementia for some time now, and it's always exciting to talk about it. So Agnes, do stop me when I become overexcited and talk too much about it.
All this time is for you because we want to know what it is. So it's for you. Around this COVID time, things can happen that can trigger. Some people may even not know they have dementia, but because these issues can also trigger it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so that's a bit of a background about myself.
Okay, so now we go to the point. What is dementia? We've been hearing that word, but today we really want to know what at all is the word dementia when we talk about illness.
So absolutely. So dementia is a neurological condition. And when we say something is a neurological condition, what we mean by that is that it's a condition that affects the brain. Okay, so everything about dementia has to do with the brain.
And at a point, I will come into translating our dialect.
Okay, all right, absolutely. So this is a disease that affects your brain. It prevents your brain from working the way it's normally supposed to work. And the significant areas that get impacted are, your ability to remember things and your ability to think and be able to do things with the brain. So it's not usually a single condition, but it is a range of conditions that come together to cause dementia. Okay, so maybe if someone is experiencing just slight memory loss because you've forgotten where you placed your pen or where you placed your purse or your car keys, may not necessarily mean you have dementia. A lot of conditions need to come together for you to be formally diagnosed of having dementia. However, the most important thing is it's that condition that is characterized by the fact that you can't remember the things that you used to remember anymore. In worst cases, you can't even remember the name of your spouse or the names of your children. You can't remember familiar places that you used to go to again. You can't do the things that normally you do, from basic things such as cooking, such as dressing up, such as bathing. You can't do them anymore because that part of the brain that was meant to help you to do those things have actually been impaired. So something has happened to it, the structure has changed, and it cannot perform the way it is meant to perform. So this is dementia in a nutshell.
Yeah, can say dementia, ye body kakraka nyina ne se eya adwemu yare. Enti emra ye nyi no, wadwen no yare atimi kam, se yare bi atimi ka obi no we de eya adwemu ka, enye se wabodamba no na ya anatoro bi a enkyerɛ sɛ bi a me wie fi ade enne ɔkyena na me wie fi bebi wo abehu sa afa de eya ye obi ne wudi nkɔmɔ kora wo wie fi kyese bibia no na wahu sɛ ade bi ya aka adwen no e ma nneɛma bi ɛsesa tia no na ya na ye friend sɛ dementia no na no ntimi fa wa no nka kyese wo kɔma specialist ɛhwɛ wadwen mu ɛhwɛ nneɛma bi hu sɛ ampa saa yare no sese no ebi aba bɛka tia no ne dementia yare no ɛyɛ tirimu ɛyɛ yare.
Absolutely, no correct. And I'll be very cautious on my tree because I'm from the north and I don't want to start breaking the neck of the tree.
But when you say yes. No, it doesn't mean to say you are from the north. So we'll carry on, we'll do it. You have even tried. I can't speak yours.
Yeah.
So what are, it said dementia. So what are the causes or how many, let me ask about how many types of dementia do we have? Is there any just one or we have categories of dementia?
Good question, Agnes. So there are so many forms of dementia. In fact, there are over 70 types of dementia. So many of them, usually based on what results in that dementia. However, we've got 4 main types, and these 4 main types are the ones that are highly prevalent among the population. So these 4 types are, dementia of the Alzheimer's type. So the one which is caused by Alzheimer's disease. And people may have heard, others talking about Alzheimer's disease and linking that to dementia. Just to be very clear, Alzheimer's disease is not the same as dementia. So someone can have Alzheimer's disease, but the person may not necessarily have dementia, okay? But we have a type of dementia known as dementia of the Alzheimer's type. So it's that dementia which is caused by Alzheimer's disease. Note that when I was defining what dementia was, I said it's not just one condition. It's caused by a range of conditions. And if it's caused by Alzheimer's disease, then it is classified as dementia of the Alzheimer's type. Now, that is the most popular one that we have. The second most popular one is what we call vascular dementia. So vascular dementia is the one which is usually caused due to a problem with your circulatory system that prevents blood from feeding essential energy and nutrients to the brain. And when that stops, that part of the brain basically dies. And therefore, it cannot function. It cannot enable you to think properly. It cannot enable you to remember things anymore. So we call that vascular dementia. This is usually caused by conditions such as hypertension, so high blood pressure, caused by things such as stroke as well. It is becoming, it is also very, very popular. And in fact, it's becoming very significant in our age where hypertension and stroke are becoming very prevalent.
And Dr. Araba says, please, doctor, come to our level. I think what she meant by that is because of the words, and I think she wanted to break it down.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay. So when I talk about vascular dementia, so what I just mean is that anything that will prevent blood from flowing to the brain, because the brain is also an organ. It gets its food and nutrients from what we eat that are all in the blood, okay? So if anything blocks that flow of blood to the head, to the brain, that can result in dementia because that part of the brain cannot function the way it's normally supposed to function because that part needs the nutrients, okay? So, and this is what we call vascular dementia. A lot of it, it's now very prevalent due to the fact that we have a lot of people with high blood pressure and a lot of people being affected by stroke nowadays. Now, the third form that we have is known as frontotemporal dementia. I mean, this frontotemporal is just a part of the brain, okay? And that's where it gets its name from. from the fact that it is that part of the brain that gets affected, when either you've got cells that are not functioning properly in the frontotemporal part of the brain. That's where it just gets its name from. Then the fourth one, most common one, is dementia of the Lewy bodies. I mean, Lewy bodies is not any big term, and I mean, it's just a certain protein that is found in the brain, and that can cause dementia. And if that protein is found, they then classify it as dementia with Lewy bodies. But having said that, a lot of other diseases lead to dementia. It's interesting that diseases that you may think are so
Let me
mild.
come in here, doctor, because I will forget about all that you're saying.
Okay.
The doctor person can say, "I can't dementia na ya dream yare no a. Ya can't dream yare say ya ka mental. Ghana de nya kan say wa adwemu an ya de sebe edamaba. Enya no na ya kan say de obi timi nya cancer, obi nya diabetes. Saa nso na obi nso timi nya problem a say moja ne ntimi mfuru nko bebi e wo say ekọ. Enuane bi a we di a say protein niam ntimi nkọ eyemu enan na o mafa. Ya say doso. But a night your omafa and no person chile mu say enye ade baako pe and sorry ya e mouse ayare no and niam so moja no kura ntimi nko wutiri mu yi ya ni say tibi kura ma stroke it's sa niam no na ehun sunsuaso e wo ho nti o kire yen say eye niam nan ye wi oba kire kwa ye befa so a e betimi a prevent kakra na say betimi aya yenya sansunsuaso ni bi ti na doctor kire mu na me na me say o ma me me say omo times na ya na mu yeduru tineja ye kira ya no kakra e betimi na just ye timi mutimi kira say wotwi mu.
No crap. Me try as much as possible. Say me you see a term, so not me breaking it down kakra.
So you should tell now what's breaking it down. Who also a term no so a pentineja ye frafra. I say blender no dey make mo bebre no aka afra so nyina the end no ade ba ko na ahwehwe nti sa na e be ye no.
No. So as I was saying, there are other conditions that also lead to dementia, like things such as HIV/AIDS. And at some point, I will explain, because there is a notion that people in Africa, people in Ghana, it doesn't look like dementia should be a problem. It doesn't look like something that they should think about, because they don't think they are vulnerable. They don't think they are at risk. So I'll come and explain why we shouldn't sleep, why we shouldn't relax about it. And I'll then comment on the video that you saw, someone being beaten because they assume that person is a witch. So I'll come and explain that. But just to let you know, if these causes that I'm mentioning, for example, HIV/AIDS can lead to dementia, okay? And we have a high prevalence of HIV/AIDS in Africa, in Ghana, in Kenya, and in other parts of the developing world. Things such as micronutrient deficiency. So, the nutrients that we get from food, the vitamins, the minerals and everything. Sometimes if we are so deficient in them, it can lead to dementia. So there is a whole lot of other causes, but these are the four main ones that, are very prevalent, that affects a lot of people in the world. And just to highlight, perhaps I should have said this earlier, it's a scary disease because there is no cure. Okay, there is no cure for dementia. It's been a disease that was identified, way in the 80s, for a very long time ago, and till date, there is no cure for dementia. So what it means is that if you are diagnosed with dementia, so you catch yourself when you're dementia, you have to live with it till you finally die. And what it means is that you usually start with very mild symptoms, then the symptoms progress into worse ones. So your memory could start from little things such as forgetting where you've placed your car keys, forgetting, that, today is Thursday, till worse conditions such as you can't even recognize your daughter when your daughter is standing in front of you. Okay, you can't even put on your own shirt anymore. Okay, you can't even go to the bathroom when you've got to use the loo, and you then start having incontinence and all that. So it progresses until finally you passed away. So it's a scary condition, okay, and we still don't have any medicine for it.
Na kase yare no hu se enya ba wa brabo mu a na ji se nyame enya de a eye yare a ekọ e wo so no yare ne tena ekopem sɛ nyame na beto nsa afrɛ enti eno na ɔka sɛ enya ade a eba wo hɔ a etimi kono obi wo HIV no etimi lead to that because maybe say unya HIV kura dwendwen no kura besi na epiepia wo ano akoduru hɔ enti no yare bi asɛ ba ehun susu aso sɛ the doctor ka no na ɛyɛ dem sɛ we betimi akio na emo emi sɛ ɔyɛ doctor obɛkyerɛkyerɛ yɛn bi efre bibi coping em so obɛkyerɛ yɛn how a sɛ yɛbɛfa so sɛ no so sɛ coping wɔ hɔ a na gya yɛnhwɛ sɛ ne etie na ɔkyerɛkyerɛ mu afɛ na wabɛka yɛn ho a yɛka ayare mu asɛm yare a yɛfrɛ no sɛ dementia a ɛyɛ wutiri mu na ɛfa because yare bi wɔ hɔ a kita wɔn nsa ana wɔn nan ba we deɛ ɛba ɛka wutiri ɛno nyɛ sɛ wabɔdam a Ghana yɛka yɛn sɛ wabɔdam ɛyɛ yare bi ayɛ yare we yare a ye wo no kyerɛ sɛ sɛbe we yi hu ntoma na ma bonte.
Absolutely. So one of the things, and this has been a problem when it comes to developing countries, in the sense that because dementia has been taken for a lot of other things in Africa. So I'm just going to, maybe first of all, let me start by mentioning what the world statistics are as to how many people get dementia, and that will give audience an idea of how serious this condition is.
Please, if you come on, share the video for us. This is very educative. Spread it. That's why we are doing it. We don't want to face challenges in life, so we try to bring doctors here to tell us things we have to do and things we have to avoid.
Absolutely. So if you have a condition such as dementia that affects 50 million people in the world, right. I was just hearing some background noise, but I think that's
that's what I was saying.
Okay. So if you have 50 million people in the world are affected by dementia, okay. What basically this means is that every year 10 million people get diagnosed with dementia. Let me break it down to a more understandable way. Every 1 second, someone gets diagnosed with dementia in the world. So every second. So if I talk for 60 minutes, 60 seconds, so that's just 1 minute on this program. By the time I would have finished talking for 1 minute, that means 60 people would have been diagnosed with dementia in the whole world. Now, this is just diagnosis. So these are people who probably had conditions and went to the hospital and they suspected dementia and then did further tests, further blood tests, further image tests, and then confirmed that they've got dementia. So many people are living in the community who've got dementia, but first of all, they've not actually even approached a healthcare practitioner to investigate it further. There are others, especially ethnic minority groups, who when even they are given a formal diagnosis of dementia, they refuse to accept it. Okay, so they will say that, no, the God that I serve is more powerful than this. I don't think your diagnosis is right. And what then happens?
Okay, this one, let me come in here, doctor.
Yeah.
Let me come in, please. Dear doctor, person can say, yeah, no, sime biara obinya bi. It is a minute baako a na tese nipa eduasia na enya. Na ne o ka person me be mu ni say, me no we Christofo. Me ye Christoni mapa. Jesus Christ Christ na ye wo look or so ye physician enti ya mo me njai say wo wo a okọ na ye ka say dementia alatani be ka tofo yakwa oso nyame pemu wo de wo gidie kire wo sa no a gidie doctor na ka no diso na wo de mpaibon so tai akire enu no gidie no na to de bia ye twen o nyame beye nyankopon no wan kan twa men ko hospital da enti atoda na afo say nyame afeli nyame won feli na mo wo na wanye wo niam yie. If you say wo body no eba honam ani a wo ye nipa enti wo hia nipa emoa na eba honhum nso anu na wo hia honhum de enti wo say wo feed the body no with the what's wo ye enti wo kona ye kase woda onya dementia obu ho si ho biem anu na wo ka no ko na ye treat you early diagnose no eboa yen ti stress ye nya se nyame beye me kase nyame ni ho na mo me kase a kire wo nso say nyame bible ni mu no na look or ye physician oba na moje tu no yes say moje tu no ni sika nyina kwayaresa manasa nti no alone tells you say even in that time no there was doctors there nti misre early diagnosis e must be enkoye worse now enye on under something that you can't even do anything about it nti misre me nuan me ka me nuan Ghana for
Absolutely, Sister Agnes.
But that's
Radio,
about
one mentioned things about especially religion and health. I am saying, and no, your topic, say, I need started say, okay, a bit might take the whole show. But just on the part of dementia, and you meet my say, we are Christiania now, we are Cremonia, and now belonging to any other religion. There is a common story that there is evidence of dementia being mentioned in the Bible and also in the Quran as well. When we look at the story of Jacob, so Jacob and his 12 sons, and when they had their brother Joseph, who they sold to the Egyptians, and
yeah,
at some point when they came back to their father and pretended as if Jacob was actually being killed, Joseph was killed by an animal. At some point when he told them to bring the coat that Joseph was wearing, and he wanted to feel it to just make sure that it was true, and they had covered with the blood of a sheep. At some point, his kids made a comment that, why, Daddy, why are you behaving like a daughter? And in the English sense, what it actually meant was that, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your memory? This basically was describing a condition such as dementia. It tells us that even during that time, there were conditions like this that existed, that people used to lose their memory. People couldn't think properly again. But bear in mind that according to the biblical scripture and the Islamic scripture, Jacob himself was a prophet. So he wasn't just any ordinary person. So just let people know that even within the religious context, these diseases have been acknowledged by the prophet that they did exist and people got affected by them. So don't call it a Western disease only because it doesn't conform to your religion. If you look into your religion properly, your religion actually even warned you about it. And there are so many instances, okay, where they've been advised from the Bible and from the Quran as to things you shouldn't eat, activities you should avoid. And I'll come to that, those sort of activities that are likely to lead to dementia. So just to comment on that. But one of the things
yeah.
I wanted to mention is, so I have a lot of friends who've told me that, oh, young Ghana for dear, in your baby a year tinti, dementia ya bro for yare, bro for yare na young Ghana for dear. Yen di say dementia, ya dear be affecting yanda. Inti ya that dream, inti yan dream at the forefront. But I sound a very strong warning to my fellow Ghanaians who think like this. And the reason why I'm saying this is that one of the significant risk factors to dementia, which you can't control, is age. While you're growing, your risks become higher. In fact, when you are 80 plus, about 1 in 4 people who are 80 plus have got dementia. Now, fair enough. And I do understand why Ghanaians may think they are not affected with dementia because, Auntie, if you look at the obituary that are displayed every day from Ghana, people are dying younger, and they 45, 50, 30, 20s.
What a shock.
Yeah, what a shock. Because these things are happening, it means that because people don't grow older, perhaps that is why the dementia has not manifested in itself. Remember that this condition is not
But
like
dementia in Ghana now, if you say, and I know can say, oh wait, can't be some. When they start changing, and can how hospital na ye adwuma some of them who had the catch because I am besra no meanwhile na ma me kura 20 years atwam wo ba ye no ya ho na ya fa say eye bayi enti ye hu no say eye dementia. That is the problem, but it is there. Well, but when you start to say, "What near so or be no can be some," I mean that your nimbat is there. Because as I'm growing, the kind of thing so mommy wait no be no can any more no yes say it's so sad. Obi a meni mu no kura da bia wa sa ayi toilet mu nsuo na wo konom a ufusa na dwe mu da ho ene be ye e na dwe mu de kire ne se ho ye nsuo nkosa no.
Absolutely. So intuition Niente a wo born na be ye ne say because on na na bia we di 80 and 90 nti be ye de bo abrowa ana akokra yemfa mbo aketesia na abrante. But Abranteyi, it meaning it drew 70, 75, because there are people having dementia even at early ages of like 40. Okay, Niente America say so mufi say yamro area montren ye nyini chakakra people who are relatively younger will start getting dementia. So those people also start drinking that toilet water. They will start also hallucinating as well. But
Yeah.
oh, you're right, Sister Agnes. In Africa, so not only Ghana, there's been a lot of research that has been going on, and there's a whole group who have dedicated their objective towards this. And it is true that there are loads of dementia cases in Ghana, there are loads of dementia cases in Africa. However, what happens is that there are two things here. Either people will attribute them to another condition, such as witchcraft. And the reason why they do that is that one of the common symptoms of dementia is hallucination. Nti obi wɔ hɔnom a ɔte hɔ a na afei deɛ asɛ ɔhunu nneɛma. Afei deɛ ɔkeka nsɛm. Things that deɛ nyinaa te ɔyɛ nhu nso na ɔka sɛ, me maame aba ha o, but ne maame ewu deda. Mehu me ba say, but ne ebia ne ba no oni o, ne ba no wɔ aburokyi anaa ne ba no nso enni wiase mu ha koraa. Now there is a scientific explanation towards that. Dementia amount for when people have dementia, they behave that way. When you have dementia, okay, and non-chere you become unconscious. Nneɛma bi a ɛrekɔ so around you bia this is the worst thing about it is you see it happening, but unfortunately your brain cannot let you react properly to it. And the Sister Agnes, says nyame mpengu na menye dementia. What de nso bremis say mennom. Mempen so no. Enya ade a mepen so no, but mentimi nka nkyerɛ o. My dream baby anka be process me kasa ama me aka kyerɛ sɛ Auntie Agnes, but you nye nsuo na mepe na nea mepe ɛyɛ drink. Mentumi nka. But na wodi nsuo na ɛhyɛ me. Me nso mempe nsuo no, but mentumi nka nkyerɛ o. But wo nso fi sɛ aden Sunday den na ha no ɔbɔ man na gye nsuo na no na ebia ɔde force me na ma ɛden na ma bɔ nsuo no ayɛ den ato atwene. Nti ɛhɔ amadane bodamfo a yɛdi nsuo brɛ me a mebo ato atwene. But enye sɛ ma bodam. Me pese me ka kyerɛ o, but mentimi nka. Ne metimi ama me aka ne sɛ mɛbɔ nsuo no ayɛ den egu. But ɛno no na mo afa ne sɛ ɛyɛ ade foforo. So it is a painful disease. Nti obi wɔ hɔ na osu afrɛ ne maame a wewu a yɛayɛ research ehu sɛ ɛsan sɛ nea ɔmo bɛn no wode ɔmo bɛn no ɛnte na ase nti ɔfrɛ ne maame sɛ ne maame mbɛgye no hwɛ ade wa yɛ ka ɛnyɛ obi a wɔanya dementia pɛ na ɛyɛ wo fie na yɛ tete wa wo maame ewu a na wo tietie mu na wo su sɛ wopɛ mo a me maame bɛgye mi o me maame wo wɔ he o me maame AC you mention all sort of names bɛgye me papa a waka asama on the way there bɛgye mi o ɛsan sɛ at that time wonni mu bia nti afɛ deɛ wo so afrɛ ne office ɔbɛɛ dɛ ɔbɛte wase nti obi ɔwɔ dementia abrowa bi ɔwɔ hɔnom mo afa ne sɛ ɔyɛ bɛyie mo afa ne sɛ ɔyɛ abrowa mo nyina mo nkokyia no ɔpɛ sɛ ɔka kyerɛ me sɛ mente saa but ɔntimi nka nti afɛ deɛ ɔbɛɛ dɛ ɔsu afrɛ ne maame na ɔno ebi ɔbɛɛ dɛ ɔbɛte n'ase ne ba bi a ebi a ne ba no te ase ɔbɛɛ dɛ ɛna ɛbɛte n'ase nti ɔsu afrɛ no. So there's a whole research say the symptoms and the behavior of people with dementia are not what we think they are. Because dementia, you still see everything around you. So that is the big problem we are having, when in Africa and when it comes to Ghana. But one thing I want to sound as a big warning to Ghanaians, I can't fool baby say who say on your uncle boy say share sansu ebe and what dementia used not to be a problem in Europe, about a very long time ago, 100 years ago whatsoever. Okay. But Dementia about a problem, and then they said their population is aging. Says in UK, how you akola near coronavirus na bana ebia better you calculate ebia no bit matter so but normally coronavirus in yamba ya akola near the child should be able to grow so your bar averagely about 85 years. So on average, this means that their society is growing. And the more you grow, the more you're at risk of dementia. If you look at Ghana, Auntie Agnes, Rebecca said, first, ya wo akola ya nananom omo wu bebre but omo be wo no dodo na abewu in fact oba no kra or you're pregnant no obe losing kola bebre during the pregnancy before obe wu bi then your obe wo no so obe wu bebre a lot of them will die of childhood diseases before omo benyi. What then happens is that it's only few who will grow but eneno nyama asesa maternal mortality akofom ya wo akola there are greater chances say akola no be survive and now your hospitals and then you know how do bebre nti what if Osha Ghana population we are growing older than we used to, which means that not only that, but some of the risk factors I'm about to dementia are things like hypertension, stroke, obesity, diabetes. Okay, diabetes are a strong risk factor. But Osha Ghanaian population, these are the diseases that are killing us. 66%, 66 so. Amount from fan to mutrimu ye. Fa 100 na ye chichemu na ye 66 300 more. Out of every 100 people, 66 of them in Ghana who are age 50 plus have got a heart problem. 66 have a heart problem. These are the ones that are diagnosed you. Minyan kan yen diagnosed here. What you be over obe hu aye se me wo fa ewu odaya wan sorry. E be a heart attack na eku but on call doctor nti no nim say ote onyina no. He's living with a heart problem. If these conditions are prevailing, then there is no doubt that dementia will start hitting us very bad. And as Ghanaians, we need to start tackling these things right now. And my because we are growing older. Population is aging more in Ghana than it used to before. And if we don't take care in 30 years' time, dementia will become a big problem in Ghana. It's already a big problem, but what I'm saying is that it's just going to become worse. In fact, worse than Europe.
Yeah, Doctor Akeka nyina no say e wo say ye hwe ni ye fi say wo fa nipa oha na mu adua 66 na betimi anya dementia ni bidi na che say asam na eya din yi nti wo say ye hwe yi Ghana fo ada before ye pa hospital ko bibia na ye de aye o me anya herbal one herbal o de hospital na ye kan ne a ewo ho ne nche me pesa me kan ne a Dr. Araba say or say it's very serious condition. Thank you so much for the education, learning a lot. Thanks. Emma Robert Aparubo or say Sanda, good work, good talk. Do make a difference to the lynch 90 years woman recently. I think it's the woman, she was 90, she was, I think he's talking about the one that was saying the 90-year woman, which is sad. And I know that it has happened and happened and happened most of the time. They kill people, they beat them, they maltreat them simply because what they are saying, as you said, hallucination. Anyone to sign a white drain extra. Obi also me ma me gina me nkyɛn na dwen no de ka kyerɛ no na wɔka ba ɛyɛ adwen mo yareɛ na aka no ɛhɔ ayɛ sɛ wɔka bɛyi ne yaboro no a ɛno ɛyɛ awerɛho yi nti sɛ nua bɛma Robert ɔka about saa deɛ na esi yi a nnura sɛ na nansa trend wɔ social media sɛ obi a wadi 90 ma boro no ɛsɛ ɔyɛ bɛyifo ɛyɛ awerɛho yi ne nyinaa yɛ dementia yareɛ a yɛka yi o. O start we a finiema minia hospital ko check.
Absolutely, and I are wholesome because Osha Ghana, for example, we focus so much on a lot on things like maternal and child health, which is very important. There is nothing more important than a mother's health and a child's health. One area that we've neglected is the health of our older people, which is surprising because your tradition and our custom in Ghana, say anka mpenyinfo no na omo handed down na mamre na de maye. Mpenyinfo nkokrafo nwafo omo na omo ye nkofo mbetima solve your societal problems. Sa na ye de no ewo Ghana, that's our custom. And it's a shame that the health of this group of people have been completely ignored. In social government policies and everything, nothing so specialized on the health of older people. And it is time that we start advocating for it. It is time that we start making people aware of conditions like this so that we don't maltreat our older people. So a 90-year-old lady that you've beaten her out, all that she needed from you was maybe it's just a conversation. You know, and now what to say. Let her talk whatever gibberish she may talk that you think, but she's just trying to have a conversation. Have time for her. That's all that she needed. Now, Bruno, no. Menim senya ebi omonti ase about beyi but yeah, you need what
in
we
the
know
video, no,
about.
I saw the message and I'm saying, no, I don't even want to look at this because in my heart I couldn't, so I didn't watch
Yeah.
it, but I read it and I saw the comment people were said, I'm not even going there because I bet disturbed me for a long time. I did not watch it. But my point is 90 years because all hallucinating to the muso before. Now before one say you 90 years, what me survived 90 good years of her life. You just ended up her life just like that.
Yes, it's I mean
But
it's a shame.
those who killed them go scot free.
Mm.
In Ghana, they go scot free. That's another issue. What would they do for the people that killed her? They will just go. So next time, another person will repeat it.
So this is the policies that I think we should all be advocating for, using this channel, such as, Pazito Radio and TV, to let people be aware of some of these things, to actually get government on its toes, to start paying attention to the health and well-being of our older people, because these people are already vulnerable in society. So these are people who will not be working anymore. People have gone on pensions. They don't have the strength to work anymore. These are the people that we need policies to guide. People that we need to ensure that they have good access to healthcare. Because these are the people that will be living with conditions such as diabetes, stroke, hypertension. And you see, when all these conditions come together, it then results in dementia. So look, dementia, I would say dementia is coming based on the patterns of health conditions that we are seeing in Ghana. Heart problems, diabetes, stroke, hypertension. Among younger age group, it is coming. It's just a matter of time. If we live longer a bit than we're living now, there will be a time that if we don't take care, people in the age of 40 will have dementia. And in Europe, people at the age of 40 are actually being diagnosed with dementia. Okay, so these things will happen when these lifestyle factors all come together. And just to say, all these conditions don't happen at once. It builds up through the lifespan. We, the younger generation, need to start preventing it now. So this is where perhaps, Auntie, I'll now talk about, the prevention. So as I said, if you cannot cure something, don't wait for it to happen. The best approach is to prevent it from happening in the first place, because it's very difficult to handle. You imagine if you have a spouse, okay, so why worry, na ukunu and at a later age. Into more bomb brain more bread, mon that mo sorry mo kwe but mo monkola ma monkola ni na fe the when 60 70 are more retire anka this is the time you should enjoy life. Okay, na mumu ba ko yemfa say we nya dementia. Just imagine a rehosema e wo honum that afi de e wo say wo san hwe no to say say na obehwe akola a wa wo no foforo. I was say, obedunso egu ne ho, obeni egu ne ho, when I was say change, untimi ndware ne ho, when I was say dware no. So you can see the impact already, and how you can, say, wait this 16 away near dementia, and maybe Ukunu will live up to 90. So 30 years of your life will be spent caring for your husband. And that 30 years of your life should have been the time that you're about to actually enjoy life, because you've done all the hard work already. So the management is a big issue. So people have to give up. Your kids cannot relax. Some will have to leave their jobs and come and take care of you. Okay. And Senya Brabomia, look at how it is. And we have to give up our jobs to take care of our parents and our grandparents that have dementia. So let's think about preventing it. I said there are two major risk factors. We've got the non-modifiable ones. When I say non-modifiable, what I mean is we can't do anything about it, such as aging. So we have to grow, and we can't control that. Ebini genetics. So some dementias are inherited. For example, the one caused by Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease can be passed on as a gene from one parent to the other. And this one important thing. Rather than say obebo wonanabi say obeye with dementia binti, wonananya dementia, ko check ho because the gene would have been passed on to you. Wo bo na no yabebo echna. So no obebo no obeko. But it could have been a gene within the family. So when you identify one member of your family as having dementia, you all need to actually go and have a good check to see how risky you are. Maybe you may be just possessing the gene. And also you could do 90 also when you say dementia. So you start putting plans in place as to how to prevent it and reduce the burden. There are other risk factors. And we have control over it. Okay. So one of them is hypertension. Hypertension is a big risk factor. Okay. Now, and hypertension will share. People will start getting it from a younger age, 30s, 40s, based on a lot of things. The way that we even react to situations. And this is where, as I said, Auntie, this is a whole big topic when it comes to religion and health. I think that's a big topic.
We'll do that program, religion and health issues. We will do it very soon. Yeah.
Absolutely. But Niama to say, you see, absolutely. You say, oh yeah, dear Nyabotre. Nyabotre is kind of like the biggest societal advice we give to everyone. Only because these things calm your blood pressure down. When you are younger, if you say, oh, you're Burma, Wesiswana, Akatesia, Wesisa, Dikituebiana, giddy. You're just letting your blood, just pump too much. In addition to all the fats that you have in your body, at some point, now the way that can lead to dementia. So if we prevent things like this, we can prevent it.
Yeah, ebufu ntentem na wo say yehwe. Yes, that time na wo ma ebufu na ba nte say umoja no e ko ne ntem e wo say they all kan nyina wo ha ne ebufu. So ogu befu na wa ate de den no wo say ogu na fu ye no bibi nso a trigger e wo mu ntimi sra nuanom say yenhwe ebufu nso yi emwa yen.
Yeah. So another big thing is obesity. So obesity, it's a big risk factor to dementia. Ghana, ebiawu oba also, that is oba if you say on any oba ebia ni kuni hwe ni ye, ana oba o hwe ni ho ye.
But that's true. Obesity na may hu say yes. So I will say you share who said they are okay.
Absolutely. So it's becoming a big problem. So obesity is a big risk factor to dementia. The mechanism then is fat in any way they build or body, they are likely to distract the blood flow to the brain at some point. And one of the causes is if the blood flow is obstructed to the brain, then that part of the brain is likely to die. And you can then start having dementia, memory problems, you can't think properly and all that. So obesity is a big risk factor. And if we can prevent obesity, then there are chances that we'll reduce our risk of getting dementia. Another one is diabetes. It's a big risk factor. So the more we're able to control diabetes in situation, and I'm sure you had some talk about this with Dr. Araba on diabetes.
And there was she came with one of the doctors. There's a woman doctor, Nigerian. I can't remember her name, but she came with her. Yeah.
Absolutely. So all those things that you can do to prevent diabetes can eventually help you in reducing your risk of getting dementia. Another thing is physical inactivity. So this is something that I would advise, my fellow Ghanaians and everybody actually, particularly those from developing countries. No matter where you are, we need to take physical activity seriously. It is absolutely important. It can prevent a lot of health conditions. So one of the things about, just to touch on physical activity is that in relation to dementia, there have been people, and I must sound this to be clear, where they've gone to do brain scans in their body. Any machine, episode mu hu say ne omo adwene mu etie eno mo hu say parts bi e wo brain na say anka normally e wo say omo nya dementia but tankofo no still omo ye normal. Now the only explanation omo de mind and say you will be your friend in cognitive reserve and to me breaking it down. Share Dementia ya advice say when exercise says especially when you're younger and say when o body no store sanya ma papa ni nyina odi tumu no at a time afi a o body ni hia pa no na eyi ni nyina dan ama no nti ate say wo sika a wo save bi o bank nti pandemic si na ye tu bibie mu a wo sika bi da ho no ma onye adwuma kra no obetima akoyi sika ni e de sa sika na de abobra. That is the way the body also functions as well. It builds a reserve. Okay, a builder reserve be. And at a later time, now to me, yes, I exercise, be no crowd, body need to me use our reserve, no, and they repair their home, and to me to keep you healthy. So that's one thing. You're finding out those people actually normally are physically active. So even though brain no part are damaged, and affect your mobile brain, because no more that reserve or honoma a bomb. Okay, so that's one of the other things. Now, because dementia, they affect the brain, you need to keep your brain active. So one of the things I'm finding out is that people who only have up to primary education, okay, primary formal education, their chances of getting dementia is higher. So no wonder Yemruafo no more Ghana no started experiencing dementia because someone go school and do it. School na kano. School near risk factor is because school you see what drink a lot. I drink working and also exercising at home. Anything that and this is where because I am religious, that's why I always relate these health conditions to religion. That's why even in the Bible it tells you do not keep your mind idle. And at any point, don't let your mind be idle because the devil will find things for you to do. What basically that scripture is telling you is that, look, if you keep your brain inactive, these diseases will eventually get in, such as dementia. Keep it active, keep learning, even if it's a new skill. If you're learning even how to sew, new craft, it doesn't matter your age. Reading a book, keeping your brain active. And you won't say, oh, sure, bro, or to no about puzzle, or train one, no cranny puzzle be, yeah. And you'll be wondering why. This is the advice that has been given to them by their physicians to keep their brains active when they are older to prevent things like dementia. Now, the last, and to me, that is the most important factor we should all keep in mind, is about social contact. It's been found that people who have less social contact, so such as friends, family around them that can interact with, are at higher risk of dementia than anybody else. I sound this as a warning because this is one of the things that the Ghanaian society is currently facing. To me, coronavirus is not the worst pandemic to have hit Ghana in particular. There have been pandemics going on already. Our social infrastructure is breaking down. Auntie Agnes, so school vacation, they are near the work or work with crassy, no. Yet if you the number of visitors every Saturday and now Sunday, before work or auntie we and now you meet as friends to talk. No way grow. But that is broken now in the society. This is what happened to the European society when their social structure
because of technology. Mother is on the phone, father is on the phone, children are on the phone. So it's like there was a video that came round. A woman, a husband and 2 children went to visit the man's mother. There was a video. When they went, after they welcomed them, after about 2 minutes, the old lady and the old woman sat down watching them. Everybody was on the iPad or the phone. So the grandmother said, I think your visiting today is not important to us because we have sat here and you are on your phone. So it's technology is taking our children away. Technology is taking mothers away. There was a child who says, technology, you've come to take my parents away. Because he's gone to the father. He said, wait, I will come. Then the child went to the mother. He said, I'll be with you. So within 30, the child was just there alone. We have allowed technology to take out, separate our family, that is a very serious issue that we have to be careful.
Absolutely. That's why to me, I personally place that as my most important risk factor.
Yes,
But when it comes to dementia, because social contact, interestingly, from research that has been done, it has come out as one of the strongest. This is the reason why in UK, okay, so those who may not be familiar with this, the UK was the first country in the world to appoint a minister for loneliness. The minister mua Janeka say onye minister for loneliness. Onye minister or they laws beba together. Say na be ya amount for enye lonely. A bit me, activities can be going on in the community for people to be able to come together. Look, mama yen ye as Ghanaians, share ye say I can for wait there. Pepe ni oba bebu say I can for more mokase bi asi suatra. Usho bia na watra.
Watra no.
Ne boni nyina why who does usua sa boni. Europe used not to be what it is today. Okay, so back 30 years, 40 years ago in Europe, they had a very strong society. Okay, now they had families that met. Their family system was big, and some of this is still retained in places such as Scotland and Northern Ireland. But that social structure has broken. Says here they are basing, their destiny is on nuclear families, and it is killing them. It is killing them. They are one of the lonely people in the world. So statistics have shown that UK people are one of the lonely people. And Nancy Agnes, you testify. On I'm shop now, bro, who now just so I want to share ube for the next 15 minutes. She's lonely. Oh, fear, a cat be another dog be to keep them company. We need to learn from these facts. And this is what has allowed a lot of conditions such as dementia to crave into these societies. But no, because almost more advancing you almost says can be taking care of things like that. Because they've got things like care homes. They are funding it, and the government needs to But I'm just thinking, if this thing hits us in Ghana, can we afford it? Can we afford that institutional care that people have over here? I mean, there's a lot of argument as to the downside of institutional care. However, when you don't have a choice, that will be your last resort. So I will emphasize, to me, social contact is very, very, very important. Oh, baby, I'm funny say because of technology today, I'm sending a text and I'm WhatsApping and I'm a friend. Try to keep that going. This has been the thing that has built our Ghanaian society for a very long time. And it's a shame that when this is breaking down, it has consequences on health. Okay, there's a lot of health impacts, and one of them is dementia.
So say I can't acquire a fast way, boy. I say, oh, mammy, and Giant South, who have your tablet, Busumi Grana Mammy, and the video call Abba. It is a Biawa Bruchin out the Oma White, who team Mammy Tiasia. Ufra mammy, Abrawa, who video Mukra and said they were whom. Oh, and Bessican one man and say, oh, man, into you okay, no point to be man and you're happy. And no point to me, and you're happy. Who are when yes, I was so for mammy brown chair, funny brackakra. I then I make a mammy, the next at 12.5 years, not in chain. And in the American is a ninja. Mra or Tiasil. Tis a point that why, over back a crazy holidays, a man ran on a cram ran. And that's all Ghana not to be video call. Before when Oma meet a video call, it's okay. All that we're saying is enjoy, let your parents enjoy you. If they are not close to you, on video camera, speak to them daily basis. You don't pay for that. It's fixed whether you call your mother or you don't call. In UK, your mobile is just there. So please, he say we're talking about dementia, but the doctor is now talking about social life. Because your mother is there, you can send her £100 in a month, and I'm telling you, if she doesn't have that kind of relationship, that £100 will not do anything for her. But the love that we will show to them. And we shouldn't point fingers that they are witches because they are hallucinating. We have a lot of people who are young ones who have taken drugs and they are they do hallucinate. We don't say they are mad, or we don't say what they are saying. That is what the mind is telling them. So doctor is telling us this, we've got to a social life issue, which is so important. I have a friend who said at times when she go to work, the person that she is going to maybe clean will say, this place you came yesterday is okay. You don't clean. Let's sit down and chat. Just that, yeah, the person
Yeah.
value the chat. So he said, yesterday you were able to clean this place. It's okay. This place is good. You let's spend that time with me and chat. That is the request. That is showing that we need each other by ourselves. We need each other. And then parents, I am talking about parents. Now technology is taking our children away from us. If you are there, please let's try and avoid the children using it and using it, especially when we are together. We are all guilty of certain things, but we need to start, as we're listening to this thing, we need to help ourselves.
Absolutely. And as I said, so so I spoke about the social context, not in isolation, but to see how when it comes to dementia, that has become very, very important. And I will not stop emphasizing on this point. So the UK has got all the money that they think, that they have, but they've appointed a minister for loneliness because they are lonely as a society. And it's because of things like dementia in particular was one of the things that, you know, forced all these things, to come into play, because the society has been struck by these things. The more we are becoming lonely in society, especially in Ghana as well, the greater our risk of getting dementia. The mechanisms are complex to explain, but even social contact has been found to be helpful in the prevention of a lot of diseases. Sure, when you are down for bit, ɛwɔ kasa mu ɛna wobɛtumi ate nsɛm bi a ɛbɛtumi aboa wo ɛwɔ w'apɔmuden te sɛ mo ahyia na mo bɔbɔ na obi aka can share some information with you as to, look, last time me called doctor na me nim sɛ me wɔ yareɛ wei anka mankɔ a anka eku me. It gives you that information to also go and do some checkup on yourself and all that. So these are some of the benefits that we can get when we have good social contact. And in the context of dementia, I will say it has been very critical. And I'm telling you, there is no cure for this. There is no magic pill to cure dementia. Billions of dollars and pounds are being pumped into research every single day to find a cure for dementia, not just in the UK, not just in Europe, not just in the Americas, not just in the Australias, in the Asian communities. We still don't have any cure. So the biggest advice is try and prevent it. Okay, try and prevent it, especially when you've got a country where your health infrastructure is not as strong. You need to don't let this creep into your society, and it's already in our society. So when it comes, let us recognize it. The worst thing always is to deny things that are true about you. Let us not deny that dementia is in Ghana. Okay, it is not a stigmatized condition, by the way. And you'll be brana na abema na enya dementia. Adrenal is so complex that we still even don't know a lot of things about the brain itself. Okay, so obinya dementia, men kasa a fault. Wow, you never know. You don't know what is going on in your brain. Okay, I have worked as part of my research. I have worked with people with dementia themselves. One of the saddest stories I've come across while working in the hospital was when a woman was admitted, and I admitted her in the hospital. And, I looked after her for 2 days. And, when I went back again on my shift, that was just within 1 week. The woman didn't. So when she was admitted, the daughter came and I was there and they had a lovely chat. She was so normal. I went back just 2 days interval within my shift and the woman was gone. She couldn't remember even where she was anymore. The daughter came and was in tears because she didn't remember who the daughter was. She said, "Who are you again?" The daughter kept on mentioning the names like, "I don't know you. Where am I? What am I doing over here? Who brought me here? Where's my cat?" So, just like that. And you don't have to be blaming the woman for she has not done anything wrong. What is going on in our system, we don't know. We don't know the gene we've inherited from our great-great-grandfather that may one day manifest itself and we'll be having dementia. Into Aburobia, what they need from us is that care now, that love. Try to understand them. Okay, don't start accusing them. And this goes a lot to the religious bodies, our imams, our pastors. It is not everything that is within the spiritual realm to be cured. Okay, if we understand our scriptures even more correctly, the Bible says, honor thy father and thy mother so that your days will be longer on earth. Why was the emphasis so much on parents? And research has shown that people who have good relationship with their parents, actually their parents have lower risk of having dementia. So that was one interesting thing. And I always use this in a lot of lectures, that such a biblical command given over 2,000 years ago had already foreseen the problems we'll be having in society today.
Exactly.
And you see, just something like that can help prevent it. So let us not stigmatize it. Let us not see it as witchcraft. Let us not blame people. When we face someone suffering with those conditions, they need help. That is what they need. They don't need us to beat them.
Our sister Tina Latifa Jones, all the way from Merton Keynes, she says, "God bless you, brother, to highlighting and raising awareness of these issues. It's a big issues in especially in Africa, that we intend to close our eyes and then point fingers at when anybody become old and he becomes a witch." Or she becomes a witch, which is so sad. And I think from yesterday, my heart is really panting, and I think I need to do something about dementia on add it to some of the charities I do, because I think it's a big issue. I think it's a big
Absolutely.
issue that if yeah, because it's sad that you will grow and then your children will turn their back at you, pointing fingers that you, the same mother that you, especially it's most of the time it's the women that suffer, not the men. I've not really seen much pointing fingers
Yeah,
at men that they are witches, even though they are high isolated. But as soon as a woman becomes
absolutely.
old and then she have this the cognitive is not there and she can't think right, she becomes a witch. Her own children, some of them will turn. As we said, we're going to do tradition and culture and I mean religion and everything with our health, because some of them too, our pastors will tell them your mother is a witch and they don't want to do anything with their parents, which I disagree with that. Because if your parent, you know, I'm not saying it can happen, one or two can happen, but it's not you as a child your responsibility. Leave it to God to judge that one. Don't go and fight that person. That a pastor will tell you your mother is a witch, and then you go in and some of them they will not even spend a penny anymore with their parents.
No.
And God will ask you that question, because He says you should honor them. And the Bible also says in Timothy that if you do not take care of your own, you are worse than unbeliever. Meaning, if you claim yourself to be a Muslim, if you claim yourself to be a Christian, and then you forsake them because they are witch, Bible said you are even more than anybody without a religion. Forget about your religion. So please and please and please take care of your parents. Don't
Yeah.
have any guilt there. Take care of your parents. It's your responsibility to take care. If they are a witch, you pray in your chambers, and but at the end, can you even face if the person is really a witch? What can you do? Unless your
I mean,
prayers.
absolutely. I mean, you mentioned one important point, Auntie Agnes, because you mentioned about females. And just to point out that females are at higher risk
Yeah.
of getting dementia than males. Okay, so that's why you will find a lot of females being affected by dementia than males. Now, the reason for this is that it's not because of anything at all that females have that are bad on their system compared to males. No, it is because females live longer than males. That is just a simple explanation. The
Oh,
whole world, everywhere that you go, females live longer. And because they live longer and dementia, age is a big risk factor to dementia, they tend to get more dementia. So men or males, don't blame females that they are witches, and also because they are more at risk of dementia. Because of more show who you now so you know you also go longer and you also be at the same risk as they are. So this is just a simple explanation. And I've seen worse videos doing this research for the past 8 years, and looking at what has happened to people with dementia in Africa. So I've seen where they've got people that they've chained, older people that they've actually chained to trees and put them in the sun, you know, only because they've got dementia and they've attributed it to something else. I've got cases where a woman was locked up because they realized that she had memory problems, and because they didn't want that to be a stigma to their family, they kept her in this room. So any visitor that comes, she doesn't come out. She's locked over there. Her food is sent to her over there and all that. But this woman, all that she had was dementia. And one important point to mention, I said, so when I said, when you are diagnosed with dementia, there's no cure. Eventually, you just deteriorate till you die. That is not in any way bad news. What that means is that we need to start doing things that will slow the progression. And a lot of things has been done. So even all current medication that are being used are to manage the symptoms and also to slow the progression of the disease. So that if it would have taken 10 years for you to deteriorate to the worst stage, maybe to then take another 20 years before you actually get there. So that is why it is important for early diagnosis. And I sound this as advice to especially ethnic minority groups living in the diaspora. I am sparing Ghana for now, only because I know our diagnosis of dementia, for example, the system is not well developed. And when people need, and this is something that government needs to pay attention, start actually offering a lot of diagnosis for this condition. Because even in the UK, okay, where there's technological advancement, it's been shown that people who are diagnosed with dementia today were actually having dementia 10 years ago. Okay, so there is late diagnosis. If they had been able to diagnose it early, they could have intervened to slow the progression. But people only present their symptoms when they are worse. So, and ethnic minority groups in the UK, and I know the statistics for the UK very well, are at a greater risk of dementia. A lot of them, when they have a family member, first of all, they will not go for their diagnosis. They will go when it's late, and when it happens, they keep it as a secret. They don't want anybody else to know. And that leads to a lot of more treatment on that person. The person, they cut all social contact from that person. When a visitor comes, they don't want the person to sit in the room because he or she might just start talking about things that are not relevant, or hallucinating, or pacing, or have some sort of aggressive behavior. So we need to be mindful of these things. Have that early diagnosis, because it can really, really, really save you a lot of pain in the future.
So what are you, thank you, Dr. Usman. What are you leaving us with? Everything that we've said. What is your final word to us?
So my final message to everybody is that no matter where you are on the globe, dementia is real. Dementia is a scary condition. It's been acknowledged. No, we are all not safe so far as we are aging. So everybody is at risk of dementia so far as we are aging. My advice to everybody is maintain a healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, keep physically active, absolutely important. These will help reduce your risk to conditions such as diabetes, obesity, hypertension, stroke, that will eventually lead to dementia. I'll just emphasize again, social contact is very, very, very important. Maintain your social contact. Keep healthy social contact, okay? Not every social contact at all. Keep very healthy ones. And take good care of yourselves. And as we all age, we are all at risk of getting dementia at some point. But doing all these things will reduce our risk. My final message is to the policymakers, particularly to the Ghanaian policymakers. I think the government needs to take this matter seriously. That dementia is a threat in Ghana. People are being abused because they've got dementia, and that is absolutely unacceptable. Unfortunately, the strongest social structure in the Ghanaian community that is meant toward these things are the ones promoting them: the mosque, the churches, the shrines, the religious bodies. These structures appear untouchable only because of political reasons. I urge any bold government, any strong government who fears God, because that is what they swear upon when they are coming to power. If you indeed fear God, please do intervene with these bodies and to prevent people from killing their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers, only because they've got a medical condition that we can manage, but then treat it as witchcraft or anything else. That is my biggest recommendation to policymakers?
www.azitoradio.co.uk. We keep you alive.
We've kept you alive for the past hour to teach you about dementia, and I have learned a lot, and I know you have learned a lot. One thing I want you to do for me is to spread this news by sharing. You know, it's really amazing when you see people come on into the social media, excuse me to say, and fight, and you see the number of people watching them. But when it comes into educated program like this, people are ignorant. They don't even do it. Please, if you are able to share this video, you save a life. You don't know how many people you would spread this to, that you will protect them from getting dementia in future. So please share this video for us, spread this video. It will be on YouTube as well. So please share this video and educate people, because somebody is going to kill the mother in the next minute or the next hour or the next day, the next month or the next year. But the person you have educated through this program will realize that no, this is not what I am thinking. That is not right. Rather, they will embrace the mother. So please share this video. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail, for having come this way to spread this news, because it's not on a silver platter, but we've got it. Thank you so much for your hard work.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure being on the show.
Thank you. We'll come another time for this religious, because it's the worst one we'll ever think. So we will arrange and come back with religion, culture, and illness. We'll talk about it very soon. So until then, stay tuned. And Kofi Buache will come in 1 p.m. to do Inspirational Hour. Thank you so much.